Yo, welcome back to another episode of Tech Talk. Today, I have David alongside with me. You thought I forgot. I ain't forget. Today, we're talking K-swap fuel systems.
So we've got a lot of stuff on the table, and it's all related to Golden Era K-Series swapped Hondas and their fuel systems. If you're doing a K-Series build, you've got to adapt the factory fuel system from the K-Series engine into like an EG, EK, or DC2 Civic. And so that's why you need all this stuff. And we'll go through each one and we'll break it down and we'll tell you how to put it together, what things to look out for, and tell you how it works.
That's right, baby.
So to start, really the first thing that I would do is just determine what type of fuel line setup you want to run.
Tucked or not tucked.
Exactly. So we have a standard fuel line setup and a tucked fuel line setup. This 3-line setup is going to use the factory fuel filter on the firewall. So if that is something that you want to keep and you don't care about cleaning up the, firewall or the engine bay or anything, very easy to use. It's plug and play. Very simple. If you do want to change the way the firewall looks and you want to remove the fuel filter, then you would use the tucked fuel line kit. It includes an inline filter as well as an extra hose, because you'll be doing basically one line to the engine, which is
That's pretty
what
cool.
we'll go into now.
Heck yeah. All right. So we got the fuel lines, but we can't just install the fuel lines. These have to go to something.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
So we're missing a fuel pressure regulator,
Yep.
and we're missing a fuel rail.
Correct.
Do we have those?
Grab them.
Let's do it.
These are our K-Series fuel rails. We have them in black and this really nice red finish. The rail's pretty standard. It's pretty much the same design we've had for, the last 18 some odd years. You have obviously factory K-Series injector ports. It uses the factory K-Series mounting locations. Our rail has a 1/8 NPT port on the front for a fuel pressure gauge. It has a center port for the tucked fuel line kit setup, which we'll show you in a second. And then it has 2 more -8 ORB threaded ports. So every fuel line kit, every fuel rail that we sell comes with 2 -8 ORB to -6 adapters and 2 -8 ORB plugs. So depending on what sort of fuel line setup you choose, the universal K-swap fuel rail is going to be compatible with both types.
That's
so
pretty cool.
No problem there.
Yeah. Center feed is
I like that
favorite.
red.
Yeah, that red is really nice. It is nice. Like, look at that. Look at the ice, the bling blow on that.
Ice, ice, ice. Yeah.
So the first setup would be the K-Series standard fuel line kit. So obviously this is going to be bolted to your K-Series rail. And you have 3 lines in this kit. Okay. This will be our fuel filter. It's going to be mounted on the firewall. So you'll connect this fitting here. Then there's going to be an included custom banjo fitting. So this is something that we spec out specifically for this kit.
That's so cool.
It's machined to fit a factory B-Series or D-Series fuel filter.
Universal. I like how all of it's like black. It's not like just silver everywhere, silver and black. Like this is just so
it all matches.
Uniform that it's fire.
So this
is
the banjo fitting. This goes into the factory fuel filter. You've got copper washers that go on in there as well. And then this AN just threads on to the end of this line. And so imagine your fuel filter being here. This is going to wrap around the engine, go into the fuel rail. Next, you come out of the fuel rail. Now you have 2 other fittings down here. What are we missing?
Fuel pressure regulator.
That's what we need.
That's what we need. Bam! Hybrid racing fuel pressure regulator. This is the last piece we need to, you know what I mean?
To connect it up.
Bam!
You got it. So regulator for this setup is pretty simple. You're going to have an inlet on the right-hand side facing port. Because this is the standard setup, you're going to cap the back or the left side port. And then at the very bottom, you'll take your threaded adapter and you'll thread your return from the bottom.
Look at that.
So now, let's say this is mounted to your shock tower or somewhere in the engine bay. You've got this, and then now you're going to return to the tank.
But
Just
David,
like that.
we got one thing. This little piece gadget thing right here that
Yep.
has a little screw on it. Where is this going?
So this is going to the factory return line that's already in the car.
So what you're saying is that this is full plug and play.
Yeah.
If I had a hat, I'd throw it.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I have a hat and I'm not going to throw it.
I like that. This is so cool.
Yeah. So this is pretty much the standard K-Series fuel line kit package. It's going to adapt the K-Series engine and make it a return fuel system. So your fuel is fed in through this line. It goes through the filter into the rail all the way and then stops at the regulator. The regulator then determines fuel pressure and it backs up all the fuel in here, creates your pressure, and then it bleeds through and it'll bleed back to the tank. That's going to keep the pressure constant, and that's the way you want it.
Now, I do have a question for you. When it comes to the piece that we could say we're missing, we're not, we'll get into it, fuel gauge.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people say you can mount them on your fuel rail
Yep.
or you can mount it on your fuel pressure regulator.
Yep.
We do offer a block off for this, and also is this, so they're interchangeable.
Correct.
Now, in your expertise, what would you recommend putting your fuel gauge?
So it depends on the car and it depends on the engine and the circumstance. I like to remote mount gauges. So I prefer putting the gauge on the pressure regulator. That's my preference. The engines, your engine shakes a lot. And while the gauges are shockproof, so I mean, they are made to withstand that vibration, it's easier and I would say better for the gauge if it's mounted securely on something that's not an engine that doesn't constantly vibrate.
Yeah.
So again, if you have a factory car, or if your engine mounts are pretty soft, or you know, it's not super hardcore, you can run the gauge on the rail, no problem. But on our race car,
Yeah.
we run them on the pressure gauge, and the
Makes sense.
pressure gauge is remotely mounted in the engine bay.
That makes sense.
So away from heat, away from vibration, works great.
Now you know. Now I know, because mine's mounted there, and that's probably why problems be persisting. When your turbo set up on, it's too much. So there you have it. Well, look at that. It just appeared out of nowhere.
No,
I have the brand new
it was on the
Hybrid
floor.
Racing. Well, hey, brother, they don't know that.
It was on the floor.
They don't know that. Voila, look at that. I got a brand new Hybrid Racing gauge. So this is definitely different from the one I had previously. So I'm guessing you guys have just
a few years ago, we redesigned the gauges, and you can tell because they have a new face.
Yeah,
The font is new, the needle is new, the casing is all new. So yeah, if you have a Hybrid Racing fuel pressure gauge that says designed for competition at the bottom, you have the good one. This is the competition level gauge. The other ones, you know, sometimes if you would put them on the rails, or they would rattle apart and they would leak some. These are super solid. We have no issues with these.
Perfect. I'm glad I installed mine right this second. Oh, there is a thing that I do want to mention about people putting Teflon tape on it. It's required.
So Teflon tape, that's a hot topic.
That is a hot topic.
I don't personally use Teflon tape on any fitting. It's not made to withstand fuel, gasoline. And so there are specific thread sealants that are gasoline resistant that I would recommend use. I believe Loctite makes a fuel safe sealant that's made for fuel fittings. That is what we would recommend. I would not put Teflon tape on anything. It turns to goo, or if you overload it, it can strip the thread or can get down in your fuel system.
It's a hot take, but that's a good take.
Yeah, I wouldn't use Teflon tape.
All right, so we got the standard fuel system here.
Yes.
Show me that tuck version, baby.
So
that's what I want to see.
The tuck version is going to change things a little bit. So we'll disconnect from the fuel rail.
All right.
And we're going to change the configuration of our fuel rail. I'm going to need one more plug from the fuel rail box.
I got you. Whoa, magic again. Where did this come from?
You had it in your pocket. So with the tucked fuel line kit, it's pretty simple. You are only going to run one line to the fuel rail. Only the center port. That's what the center feed is for. Okay? So you don't need this anymore.
Out the way, out the way.
You don't need this one.
Get out of here.
You don't need this one. Okay?
Taking my babies with me.
And we're going to change our fuel pressure regulator as well. We're going to add an extra fitting to it. So the tucked fuel line kit works a little differently. It only runs, like I said, one line that goes to the rail. Your feed and your return lines will flow through the regulator. And basically your fuel pressure regulator will blow the excess fuel to the rail and keep the rail pressurized, and then the bleed will still return to the bottom.
Oh.
So we'll have our fuel pressure return.
Okay.
Okay, so that goes back to the tank. All right, you have the center feed line, which is the longest.
Okay.
All right.
Cooking with something. Let's see where this goes.
In here, you go fuel filter.
And it has an arrow on it to
Correct.
indicate that it's
That
pointing
is
towards the rail.
Correct. Fuel flow goes
Okay.
in. Okay, and then you're going to come out of here with the hose that has 90 degrees on it. And then this is going to go basically to this guy.
Well, don't you look at that?
And then this hose is back. This is actually your feed now. Okay.
So it attaches to the OE hard line.
It's going to attach to the factory hard line, yes. And so what that means is you're going to have to cut off that fuel filter and the hard bent tube that goes along the firewall. You cut that off, deburr it, and then you'll slip this guy on and you can secure it with a clamp.
And if you need any more instructions on how to do that, be sure to check out the install guide on hybridracing.com.
Yep. So that's pretty much the two fuel setups. Depends on your specific car, specific engine, intake manifold setup. It's really, they work the same. They're going to offer constant pressure. If you are building a higher horsepower car, if you're going to have something that you track a lot, standard fuel line kits are, I would say, better. They're better at keeping the pressure constant, and it just keeps the system flowing a lot better.
I thought you were going to say that one would be the best one.
This setup, I think, is fine for street cars. It's good for looks, but
if you're going
the
for
standard setup would be something for bigger injectors, bigger turbos, things like that. That's what I would run.
Now that's a hot take. I would have never guessed that. I'm like, oh, because you got a micron fuel filter here, like all these extra things. I'm like, oh, yeah, that'd be high horsepower.
Yeah.
But considering, I mean, it does make sense to use what you have as a standard kit. That does make sense. Okay.
Yeah, having an in and an out of the fuel rail does do good things. So again, not that this is bad in any way, it's just different.
Yeah.
And it serves a different purpose.
Okay.
One last thing that we are missing from all this is the thing that makes the pressure.
Hold on. It makes the pressure. Thinking. Is it a fuel pump?
We got it.
Whoa! I be knowing things, bro.
Man.
I be knowing things.
You know.
Whoa! Where did this come from?
Show?
Is this a hybrid racing performance fuel delivery? See how I read that? People thought I couldn't read. They said that, David.
Does it really say that?
Yeah, look at that. Performance fuel delivery.
Performance fuel delivery.
At 335 LPH. What does that mean?
This is liters per hour. So this is a pretty high pressure, high flow pump.
Oh.
It is a complete direct drop in for any EG, DC2, Integra, Del Sol, anything like that. It's great for all fuels, E85, gas, race gas, methanol, whatever. This is it's a good pump. It's good to change because the factory Civic pumps, I mean, if you have an EK Civic or something and you've got a factory pump in it, like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like,
come
you
on.
just have to change the pump.
Those are one of those things that you just...
Yeah.
It's on borrowed time.
It's-
if it's
it's-
OEM. Yeah, it's come on, man.
Yeah, it's like the hood latch on an EK Civic.
Don't tell me about it, bro.
So, change the fuel pump, keep the fuel pressure consistent. We recommend 52 to 55 PSI on all bolt-on K-Series engines.
I did not know that.
That's recommended fuel pressure.
What?
Yeah.
So it's not 40? I always see that was a thing for me. I was always told you want 40 PSI.
No, 40's low. 40's low. Factory, I believe, is around 52. So
Wow.
So, and you'll notice here we have a little green hash at the 45 PSI mark. So,
Whoa.
or I'm sorry, at the 50.
Yeah, it's at 50.
So, you want to be around 50 to 55 PSI in that range. It's that's totally safe.
it's crazy. It's really the details. I've never noticed that little green like dash mark to let you know like where you at fuel wise.
Yeah.
Wow. You guys really thought of everything.
We think a lot.
Yeah.
We think about a lot of stuff. So this is the K-Series swap fuel system. If you have questions about if this stuff is right for you, be sure to find us online, give us a call, send us an email, hybridracing.com. We'll take care of you.